Hello everybody, ElderBarrySirUp here, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play series where we are playing DireWolf20 for 120. Last episode we automated our living rock and wood so that we always have that incoming. And we can turn this off if we wanted to based off of how much we have in the system. But I'll deal with that at a later time. Today, we're going to automate feeding these guys blaze rods because we want to make sure that they are always getting some, because we'll be out of mana if we don't. And right now I have them all feeding into each other like this in a relay and then finalizing into this last one here. Now the way that we're going to do this today, the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to get a pressure plate. Actually, we might as well just go ahead and make this dropper because let's get getting that ready. And I think GPS card is required as well. Not really sure. But a pressure plate. So we'll just grab a spruce pressure plate and place that there. Underneath that, oop, I guess we should go this way since shouldn't be any cable this way. Underneath that pressure plate will be a redstone receiver. So redstone receiver. I guess that should probably actually be the block, shouldn't it? No, we want a transmitter, not a receiver. Transmitter. Redstone transmitter. Did I not push tab? Yeah, there we go. Put a transmitter here. We're going to have to GPS block that. And then put our pressure plate back on top of there. What happened to our pressure plate? I don't know. It's probably down at the bottom somewhere. Let's go with dark oak since we're making some new ones. Put a pressure plate on there, and when there's redstone signal, it should transmit. Okay, to the receiver. Redstone receiver is going to be right here. And we're going to put a dropper from Silic right out. So you're going to let us place it there? But let us place it upwards. The GPS card goes in here, and then we're going to need another one. GPS. Grab another blank GPS card. We'll come up here and we will select one block up. So let's break this for now. Place down some living rock. We'll select this block, but break it. And then place there. And we'll place a GPS card in there. Right? Without always on requires redstone. So it's going to be always on. We want it to drop 1 with a delay of 2 ticks. Let's say 5 ticks. Looks like we're going to need a point because it requires power. So, and a point there like that. And if I were to put a bunch of, let me make sure my magnet's off. It is. If I were to put a bunch of stuff in there, it's always on, should be dropping. Where's it dropping? Did I pick it? Oh, I'm picking it up when I fly up there. Okay. That would That makes sense. They should be in the correct location. Yes, right on top of that pressure plate. Okay. So since that's on required redstone, let's take it and we want to invert this. So we'll actually move this receiver. If we put this receiver down here, let's grab that GPS card. Oop, there we go. And if we put it, you know, I've never tried this, but I think we're having a genius idea right now. Put that there. Require redstone. So right now it would drop. And then the redstone torch goes off. So it's not dropping anymore. But as soon as we pick that stuff up, it drops more. That is beautiful. That is the best of those setups I've ever done. I absolutely love that. All right, so here we're going to get an exporter. Export. Just like this. Come on, let's go. And we're gonna export out. And we need some cable. So cable coming across like this. There we go. And blaze rods. And it should export those blaze rods out to there. And as long as when they get eaten up, you see that it drops. Okay, we might need a little bit higher delay tick on it. Well, that works because it ends up with an odd number. So it ends up with just one on there. So when either that despawns, which it will despawn eventually, or it gets eaten up by another one of these, which will happen before that despawns, then another one will get dropped. We could also do a level emitter underneath all three of these, I guess, and do and ors or nors and or whatnot. We could do some gates to where, like, if all three of these are full, then don't drop. Like, turn that off essentially. But that's a whole nother thing for another time. Yeah, you see that they're getting eaten up before they get despawned because we have plenty of room for mana to go at this time. And that is the automation from our system. Logging in and back out did not fix that moss cover stuff. So I think what we'll do here is we will get some moss, or not moss cover, but the cover itself. So let's grab some moss and we're going to turn some of this into carpet here and place that on top as well. Just give it a little bit more texture. Just hide these. We don't need them to be visible. And we could place moss all throughout if we want, and, you know, texture things up, but that's builder stuff, and I'm not a builder. I'm a designer like this. All right, so now that we have mana going, we can get a few things. In order to see how much mana is in here, you can use your Wand of the Forest and right click, and you can see we do not have much mana in there at all because there was really no time in between episodes other than redesigning this small miniature mana pool. And the reason I'm keeping it a small miniature mana pool at this time is because we'll eventually get into sparks, at which point we'll have a huge mana pool. But we're not quite there. The next thing after getting some mana, let me just click that right there. Next thing after getting mana is going to be runes. In order for runes, we're going to need things like mana pearls, mana diamonds. So mana. So let's get some ender pearls. I don't know where those odd number 1 things come from. It's so weird. Drop it in and it'll show you that it has room for it, or it has enough to make the whatever you're looking at. So let's grab some iron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So far so good. Let's grab some diamond. 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, and you can see the red X shows, hey look, there's not enough. Now you could do entire blocks at a time if you have enough mana. We just don't yet. But we're gonna go ahead and get to the Runic altar. We're gonna make that. And we're gonna use an ender or mana pearl because that is what we have the most of right now. And we need another mana spreader. So mana spreader, because I believe the mana spreader is the only thing that will not take sparks when we do get to sparks, if I'm not mistaken. But we're gonna need to wait until we get a little bit more mana before we actually make any runes. So we'll be back here in a little bit, and hopefully we'll have plenty of mana saved up. You're not gonna believe this. While I was editing the last video and letting this stuff build up, which we still don't have enough of, but it's been a few minutes now. I decided to fly over here and check my digital miner, which I have placed in several different locations, and look what we finally have. We finally have a smithing template for Aethersteel. It took so long. This thing is set to find only things from that mod, and we finally on episode 34, I think this is, got our smithing template from our favorite biome, the Aethersteel caves. Oh, I'm so excited. In fact, I am going to duplicate this thing right now many times because I don't want to risk losing it ever again. Well, not losing it ever again, but I don't want to risk ever losing it. Never had it in the first place. So finally, unfortunately, we're in crystallized armor and all that stuff at this point, but we got it. We got it. Oh my goodness. All right, and we are back. So I went ahead and I placed some detectors underneath these. I have these set to works only without redstone, and these are all set to work or and emit a signal when above that amount of, well, it's living stone. I don't know why it's not showing up right there. Living rock. Let me grab another one right quick. Living rock. Here we go. And to show, I have a couple over here that are set to 380 for stone and rock itself, or for the rock and the wood itself. And I'm gonna pull a couple out to drop those down. So if I go like that right there, you see that it broke that piece of wood. And this one's gonna take a little more. We were not above 380, so there we go. And there we go. So it will now continue to break those until they get above 380, which they will be, so it won't break the next go around. This way we're not just constantly using up our dark oak and our stone when we don't need any more. 380 or 300 of each of those is more than enough to keep in stock for anything we might need. All right, so we were getting to the runes. We have now, let's see what we got here. We've gone, quite a bit of time has gone by, but we now have quite a bit of mana here. Let me grab my wand of the forest, and we're at almost at 3/4 of full. And I'm gonna go ahead and make the first runes. So we need mana steel ingot, mana powder, which is glowstone. So mana steel, glowstone. So let's grab some of those and go like that. There we go. We need nether brick, gunpowder, and nether wart. So nether brick, do we have any? Yes. Nether brick, nether wart, and gunpowder. And you just place what it requires, one at a time of each. And what did I miss? The nether wart. There we go. And that fills up with mana. Once it does, we're going to need a living rock or living stone. Oh, what happened? Living stone, living rock. Yep. We'll drop that on top. Oh, come on. On top, and then hit it with our wand. And we can right click with an empty hand to create the same recipe again. And so if you, as long as you have the materials in your inventory, it'll allow you to do that. We need another rock. Drop it, and stone. So now we have 4 runes of fire. Now I'm not going to make all the runes on camera. That would get quite boring quite fast. But you can see that each rune requires different things. And then you start getting into, after you get out of the basic runes, including the mana rune, we will see that we get into needing runes to make runes. So this will need water and spring. Spring requires water and fire and so forth. So I'll make a bunch of those runes and so forth off camera. I don't want to spend all day just making runes or a whole episode making runes. That wouldn't be any fun. But I'll tell you what would be fun, and that is to look at our Aethersteel helmet. And the reason I say that that would be fun is because if you look at our crystallized obsidian helmets here, and then you look at our Aethersteel, crystallized is 7 armor, and these are 1300 or 13 armor with 100% knockback resistance. We just lose a 6 armor toughness. Yeah, that's okay with me. Now, granted, we have some pretty OP armor right now. Do we need it to be any stronger than this? Absolutely not. Am I going to make that stuff? Yes, but I'm gonna need more Godforged stuff. So I'm gonna have to go kill some enemies in the inn and so forth to get plenty of Godforged ingots. But when we come back, don't be surprised if we have a full set of Aethersteel gear, Godforged, and gemmed up, ready to go. Because, yeah. Oh, and it's December, right? Well, it will be here very soon. It is when you see this episode for sure. On the 3rd, I believe, maybe the 5th. But the rats are starting to show up with little hats on. And, oh, I didn't mean to pick him up. You right click, you can take the hat off. You can make you might be able to make those hats. That rat's hat. I don't know if you can actually make the hats. You can. Might be a little expensive. But they get all kinds of top hat. I want a top hat on one of them right now. Look at this. We got Oh my goodness. Which one of those is gonna get that? We're wow, I didn't even know that was a thing. I did. Oh, what? What? Those are definitely gonna be some of our fighters. Those, yeah. So let's we're because fighters are a thing. We if we ever actually get into the rats, they are going to. Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna waste those. I'm going to. And they're both pirate hats at that. One male, one female. Beautiful. Do we have any healing potions? Splash healing potions specifically. Yeah, let's get them healed up. There we go. And there's all kinds of hats that these guys can have. Pretty cool. We'll get into rats soon. Maybe after we've gotten a little further into Botania. But I definitely want to have a bunch of mana saved up for the next episode. So until then, this is ElderBarrySirUp wishing you a wonderful day. Take care.